More looks like it's about time for us to meet up with Ganyu. Let's head to Eugene Terrace.
Greetings, Traveler and Paimon.
Are you okay, Ganyu? You were nodding off there.
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Since last time, I've been thinking a lot about the story In essence, someone rescued a drowning man and performed some music, but the tune was allegedly so wonderful that the drowning man forgot perhaps there was an adeptal power at work in that music that he, as a mortal, could not perceive. Either way, if this part of the story is true...
You really think so? But this story is all the way from Fontaine. Also, Paimon's really curious about how people from Fontaine think this fairy lady looked. Then she looked just like Ganyu. Guess that does technically... Actually, Ganyu, if you had to save a drowning person, how would you go about it?
Huh? Me? Well, once I was sure that they were going to be okay, I'd slip away with a...
Got it. So basically, Ganyu's the type of person who doesn't like to...
No, it's not like that. I'm just not very good at explaining things.
Well, what if this adeptus in the story had a similar attitude? She was probably thinking something like...
That was actually a very good... As far as I'm aware, Cloud Retainer isn't the most if we set off now, you'll be able to confirm either way if it's her. And I've been in Lea Harbor for so long now that I'm just not...
Sounds great! And we're pretty close...
I've prepared a gift for her to mark the festival. Cloud Retainer spends most of her days studying mechanisms in her abode. Never mind. I promised I'd help Mr. Dvorak. Traveler? Paimon?
Seems like this is a tough decision for Ganyu, but Paimon gets why she'd be so anxious. Wait, did she leave already? Looks kinda cozy in here. Nap time! So here you...
Why did you come here? Considering the kindness you have shown me,
Yay!
this trial was prepared by Cloud Retainer. Its goal is to... The training is much to her signature style. I hope it won't...
Is it difficult?
No, I'm aware of your strength, Traveler. The power hidden within you. If you're ready, we should... If you could see through the eyes of an Adeptus, you wouldn't be so surprised. Next on the agenda... We're way behind schedule. No touching. We've completed the task. What do you... I agree. You possess many qualities similar...
Ganyu, what were you planning to...
The training's not over yet.
Huh? So there are more trials prepared by other Adepti?
No. The only...
Who is it?
Conqueror of demons.
Huh. So it's Shell. That cold up...
I found him unapproachable at first, too. He's already waiting for me.
Of course we are. Paimon's so tired from trying to keep up. Don't either of you need to take...
I can't believe it.
Huh? Did we miss her?
She doesn't like to travel. So in the past, it's always been the other Adepta. True. Now that I think about it, Cloud retained... Since she's not here, I guess the...
Uh-oh. Will it involve a lot more... Got it!
Please go on, Paimon.
Our goal here is to find the Adept. We can't hear any music right now.
Yes, I think that's fair to say.
So, all we have to do is get the Traveler to pretend to fall in the... You know perfectly well that Paimon can't swim. Paimon would sink like a rock. Just trust Paimon. The water's pretty deep over there. Quick. And away I go. Help! Help! Someone's drowning! If only there was a kind-hearted Adeptus here to save us! Oh no! Whatever will a Paimon do?
What is going on?
How do you feel right now? Shenhe!
Why don't you say something? Okay, fine. We're looking for an Adeptus who's good at being a lifeguard, but if the Adepti aren't gonna stay home, then how are we...
It wasn't me.
Yeah, so this Adeptus is most likely a woman.
And I am not an Adeptus, as you both already know.
suggested this idea if she'd known how awkward this was gonna...
Glad you're okay. As far as I know, the one you seek is no Yaksha. And one last thing. Your actions here caused others a great deal of worry. Do not repeat them again in the future.
As ever, the conqueror of demons comes and goes.
Right. I didn't dare to say a word just... How's your training going, Shenhe?
Oh, I had planned to spend the festival
Oh, speaking of Cloud Retainer...
earlier this morning. She set off from... I noticed she was using an Adeptus art of some kind to protect a mechanism that looked like a boiler.
So we just missed her. Please excuse me for a moment. I think I'll leave the gift in her abode.
Sure.
It sounds like Ganyu and Shenhe have gotten a lot closer.
Yes. During the summer and winter, I continued to train with Master. Ganyu arranged accommodations for me in the city, and also recommended... But when I try to blend in by referring to her as Miss Ganyu... Sometimes I'm supposed to copy other people. Sometimes I'm not. Oh, is that what it is? So, you came looking for Master today because you wanted to ask her...
Yep. Oh, speaking of that...
Music?
It's...
Okay, I'm done. I also left her a note so that she knows where to find us.
Yay! That's really...
We were just talking about this thing called music.
Oh, really?
This is the place. I enjoy training here to the sound of music.
Oh no! Paimon's gone deaf! Paimon can't hear anything! Oh, whew! Paimon hasn't gone deaf after all! Paimon, anyway...
The faint sound of birdsong, the quiet murmur of the streams.
Oh, okay, fine. It's all Paimon's fault. What we're looking for...
Oh. And a melody is?
Hey! Don't you patronize Paimon! Let's get one thing straight. Hey! Why don't you just sing that one melody Shen has heard before? It'll probably help her to understand what...
Oh, was that from the opera that Yunjin sang?
Mm-hmm. That was a melody. A melody...
It felt like I was transported back to the past. In my mind's eye... We're all there, raising... As I watched Yunjin's performance, I felt a warm sensation in my heart when you hummed that melody just now. So...
Wow, Shenhe. Music definitely has the power to bring up memories. It's like a time... What about you, Ganyu? Are there any melodies?
I don't remember if my parents... I know some local folk songs. And, the songs of the sailors down at the docks. The little ditties that the vendor... Yes, that's right. In the past, whenever I heard the sound of those tunes, Nenny and Liyue probably view me as a non-human. And they are right, in the sense that I never could connect with humans at least, that's the view I held in the past. Only more recently did I start to realize that the way those melodies make me feel, even though we come from different backgrounds, and in that sense...
You go, Ganyu! You're really making...
Yes, technically speaking, we should refer to each other by the conventional form.
Thank you, everyone.
Once the days are warmer, I would like to host you at my... I've planted many types of flowers.
You are too kind.
Nonsense. I have cultivated and cared for the flowers I will save some for decoration. We can feast on the rest.
Then, thank you in advance.
Do people say that?
It doesn't matter, okay? You got the point across. No need to split hairs. Paimon's more concerned about your idea of a girls' night out.
Who dares refer to one not by one's Adeptus title, but merely as that illuminated bird?
Master.
Our greetings, Cloud Retainer.
Ah! There it is!
Double humph. Now she has the gall to use it rather than she, even after being chastised once already? Barely a moment has passed since we last met, and yet your impertinence has reached new heights. Very well. If you refuse to learn your lesson, one shall scold you no further. One has received your message from Ganyu. On the matter of the Adeptus you seek, one suspects to know their identity. Well, shall one lead the way?
I still have to complete my training for today, so I will bid farewell to everyone here.
Very well. Await my arrival at one's abode later this night. On this special occasion, you should indulge yourself with some savory dishes.
If you want to release a Shao Lantern,
Thank you, everyone.
Is this? Quayle Cloud Retainer, why did you bring us here?
Ganyu is of course familiar with the name Guizhong, but have you ever heard of her? Guizhong is another name of Agentis, the god of dust. She was extroverted in nature and adored social gatherings and inventions alike. Long ago, this region was yet a prosperous assembly. Guizhong often invited her friends to visit her home, reserving for us seats around the largest stone table. Sea Gazer would always bring out his latest treasure and place it upon the table. He could be quite the braggart. Though usually a mild-mannered fellow, when it came to those collectibles he was so fond of, he always loved to show them off.
Paimon remembers that name.
He was an old friend and a former rival. Once he had brought out the treasure, it would predictably become the center of attention. Neither Guizhong nor one was content to let him just steal the spotlight. As Adepti, we were each gifted in our own ways, and naturally proud of our accomplishments in our respective fields of expertise. His treasures were not even of his own making. He just used his exploration skills to dig them out of the ground.
Cloud Retainer, you are getting competitive again.
One digresses. Regardless, every time an argument occurred, Guizhong would come over to watch us during our mutual lambast.
What kind of nonsense?
No kind of nonsense were we spared. Sometimes she would brazenly opine, why argue between yourselves when neither of you could ever hope to beat me? She always sought to make everyone happy, and one must say, she had quite the gift for it. It also helped that she never referred to one as that illuminated bird or ladybird.
Come on, get over...
Anyway, just as our impassioned arguments would reach the apex of acrimony, who would dare snub the stove god and his wondrous creations? At the sight of him, we would all immediately drop the argument and prepare the table for a night of feasting and drinking. Back then, one was always bothered by how the cups Rex Lapis brought were always too square for one's taste. Can you see yourselves ever enjoying a drink from a Then you are most tolerant. Even one could never find fault with Marchosius's cooking. Each of those old fossils had their character flaws and points of obstinacy. We would drink together from a spot high in the mountains until the moon set and the sun rose, and only then would the banquet finally come to an end. Streetwood Rambler would often remain to admire the flowers with Guizhong before returning to her own abode.
Streetward Rambler?
That would be Ping.
Oh, okay. Wait, this is a or are you saying that it was Guizhong?
Alas, long has one avoided this place for precisely that. One should have guessed that you would disrupt one's poignant moment of mourning with your... No matter, one will share the whole story with you now. In times gone by, one quarreled oft with Guizhong concerning mechanical principles. We each had our ideals, and neither would yield. Under the pretext of a social gathering, one invited the impartial Rex Lapis to judge the quality of our creations. But Rex Lapis declared that Guizhong's Obscuro Vulpus mechanism was superior. Though one was too proud to acknowledge it, in one's heart, one knew that Guizhong was indeed the superior talent in the mechanical arts. As for the story between Guizhong and Streetward Rambler, that begins with a certain bell. In Guizhong's opinion, while mechanisms were no substitute for human composers, they were yet capable of producing simple but fine melodies. But Streetward Rambler believed music to be an expression of the soul, an emotional enterprise that could never hope to be replicated by machinery. They argued endlessly, until one asked Rex Lapis to intercede. He confiscated the bell and designated it for ceremonial use. Thereafter, one would often find them convening in the mountains, discussing music, mechanics, and all the affairs of the mortal world. But these good times were not to last. War broke out between the gods, and soon engulfed the Guili Plains. Guizhong was overpowered by the enemy, and fell in battle. When Streetwood Rambler and I arrived at the scene at long last, all that remained among the ruins was her lifeless body. After this, at Streetwood Rambler's request, Rex Lapis granted her the cleansing bell for safekeeping. To honor our friend's memory, one made a few finishing touches to her ballistic device. Many lantern rites have passed since then. Many greetings and goodbyes. Upon what do you gaze? The Guili Plains?
No, it's everything. We think of human life as like a lantern that's lit one minute and extinguished the next. But are we Adepti so different? Perhaps as dust settles after a storm, we too must one day return to the world below.
One has always been austere and private by nature, and has never relished.
What? You have loads of friends!
Just because one is not ignorant of social graces, but in the end, one is nothing like Streetwood Rambler. Back when they were rivals, they would often compete against one. That cleansing bell was one of Guizhong's proudest works.
Wait, that's weird. Didn't Madame Ping say she passed? And she also said something about being a vain
Streetwood Rambler, a vain beauty. That bell has a sad history. Clearly, she refrained from sharing with you that. As for her old friend, who else? As soon as Streetwood Rambler heard that a certain Zhang Li wished to borrow the bell. After all, we all have known each other for several millennia.
Whoa! So they were talking in secret code?
Enough of your intrusions. The cleansing bell is powered by a mechanical art, But Streetward Rambler did not acquire it from Rex Lapis for the purpose of producing. The two once clashed over their beliefs about the meaning of music. Once upon a time, Streetwood Rambler also loved gatherings. The music would go from mournful to many years passed before she finally composed a melody to our satisfaction. Which brings one back to the matter you've been investigating.
But if she was so happy with the melody...
One was also greatly perplexed by this. In response, though the strings that played that melody...
Aww.
I just remember being taken care of by you when I was young. Although I met Guizhong a few times...
Guizhong was quite the visionary. But tragically passed had you not decided to search for that mystery Adeptus. As of now, you know the truth. That the Adeptus who rescued the drowning man... Do you intend to discuss this with her?
Do you mean... Ping might find the topic?
Precisely. The passing of our old friend.
If I may be so bold... Cloud Retainer...
Oh?
I've been in Leo Harbor for quite a long time now, and I've witnessed many, but this doesn't bring the city or its people. Someone as perceptive and wise as Ping will, though these immortal mountains have lost an adept, no loss can ever be undone. Ping has helped countless people, and will guide many others in the years to come, though it is heartbreaking to lose a kindred spirit.
We even asked Madame Ping what she thought about adding a music festival to this year's land. When we get back, why don't we just ask her if she'd like to perform?
You youngsters and your imaginations.
Why don't you come with us? It's been a long time since you last spoke with Ping.
Is not every lantern rite the same in this regard?
I disagree. Each new day and each new year is different from those that have come before.
The edibles she brought this time. Very well. Then one will be off. If the other old fossils have sneaked away into the city to amuse themselves, one shall soon find out.
All right. We should be getting back to the harbor as well. Once the Guili assembly... Say, if we planted flowers there and cared for them carefully enough...
Allow one to take back one's praise from a moment prior.
What? Cloud Retainer?
One observed that you were making no effort to leave, and returned to chasten and hasten you.
Personal sin.
Whoa, Madame Ping?
It appears you made haste after all.
Oh, bless my soul. To what do I owe the honor?
Miss Illuminated Bird, haven't...
Said what, precisely? And why should one be tasked with saying?
'Cause you're the one who's known Madame Ping.
Street word. Or rather...
Oh, Cloud Retainer, you are...
One, given that lantern rite is almost upon us. Ganyu, please...
So, this all started because we were trying to help Mr. Dvorak. Cloud Retainer informed us that the one who played that melody and rescued...
Let me think. What a long time ago that was. I'm surprised that you... Even more astonishing, perhaps, is the fact that this story has survived this long at all. It appears that she has proven...
Who's she?
We like to call her Guizhong. From the look in Cloud Retainer's eye...
Albeit reluctantly, one...
There, after all, Lantern Right's very purpose is to... Although Guizhong did not live to see the splendid sights of today,
So, how has she
once upon a time, she said to me that but as she interacted more and more with them, she marveled at the beautiful complexity of their spirits. She told us that with the smallest amount of guidance and a human who has reached their full potential.
She always had a way with words. That her mechanical accomplishments were judged superior to one's own was...
Speaking of mechanics, Cloud Retainer,
Of course. Guizhong and one both put an immense amount of effort into that gift.
as Guizhong once said, it takes every blade of grass. When I see the sight of Liyue Harbor...
Madam Ping looks very emotional right now.
Of all of us. If she were still with us, I'm quite sure she would...
Liyue Harbor is always filled with the sound of music at this time of the year.
Oh, yeah! We've been dying to ask. Well, oh, also, with you being such...
I can make arrangements right away.
Oh, as much as I don't wish, it's been a long time since I played this zither. And whenever I play that tune, there was a period of time whenever I started strumming, it almost felt like she was back again, no matter how much time goes by.
So the past still weighs heavily on your heart?
Oh, I would be lying to myself if I... But that is not to say that grief, despite the sadness, I have found many things that bring me joy in life. Just look at this potted plant.
It takes an honest and open mind to confront and
Be that as it may, I shall leave the lantern rites.
Well, if you're...
Granny! Whoa, what's everyone doing here?
Ah, and now we've spooked Yanfei.
Oh, that's wonderful, I'm glad. Well, in that case, happy Lantern Rite, everyone.
Happy Lantern Rite. Oh, I will leave Mr. Dvorak in your capable hands.
Huh? Does it have to be right now? Which case is this again?
It seems Ganyu still has
What a pity. She has learned nothing of one's ability.
Since it's been so long, Cloud Retainer, why don't you...
Gladly. This was one's intention as well.
When you next see the Fontaine musician...
You got it, Madam Ping!
Thank you all. I think you've listened. As for that melody, I will...
Wow, that'd be great!
When that time comes, wherever her spirit may be among the countless grains of sand and specks of dust between the...
All right, let's go tell Mr. Dvorak the news.
Ping, what say you to convening more often in the future?
That would be quite wonderful. But I must say, after all this time, I've grown quite accustomed to the harbor.
You sound just like Shenhe. The child is constantly telling one all sorts of stories from the city.
Have you ever considered moving to the city, Cloud Retainer? And if you looked around, I suspect you would find some young minds with an interest in the mechanical arts.
We shall see.
Mr. Dvorak! Ah, and Kuchin's here too! Thanks for helping.
Welcome back.
Really, really well. We found the person Mr. Dvorak was...
Are you serious? I see. So the melody my ancestor heard was that certainly explains why it was such a powerful...
Huh. That's a really interesting first reaction.
I have to say, though, it's hard to believe that the fairy from the tale...
Oh, Paimon knows exactly what you mean. But Streetward Rambler, or Madam Ping as we know her?
Madam Ping possesses vast knowledge and great wisdom.
Yep, exactly.
I think... yes, that can wait until after the concert, though. For now, I need to...
Speaking of, Madam Ping wishes you all the best. Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that she'll stay in her...
Wait, are you serious? Oh no, now I'm starting to get nervous. Okay, alright. Nope, another rehearsal is in order. Please excuse me, everyone.
Mr. Dvorak? He's already gone. Before we set off on our search with Ganyu,
Please, share your insights with me.
well, it can make people happy. And music is like a kind of memory written in people's...
It sounds like you had an eventful trip.
Wait, does that mean you're gonna carry...
Just a few things. As long as everyone enjoys the festival activities, happy Lantern Rite to you as well.
That should be everything to... Paimon feels like she's forgetting something. Shoot! Latent... Wait, Zhongli said he wasn't in a hurry. Anyway, even if we don't... Anyway...
Da 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 da. Oh. All right, let's take a break here. Oh wow, look who it is! Are you here to hang out with everyone's?
So you're just casually practicing your rapping skills?
After everything we've been through, we have all this open space, a clear view of the mountains behind and the sea in front.
Invisible.
Gotta say, it took me a few days to get used to...
Xinyan was pretty spooked too when she first got here.
Come on, knock it...
What's wrong? I've never seen someone look so confused before. There once was a Fontaine musician who went around town on a mission. He came door to door for his iridescence tour. Look, with my words, Xinyan's chords and Yun will take the stage by storm with flames roaring.
For sure! The whole dance floor!
Oh, don't you worry about that. I'm pretty experienced on the stage, and I've already informed the Yuhong of all the pyrotechnics we're planning on using.
Huh. Guess we'll just have to trust...
Oh, Zhongli. He took one of those fancy meal boxes and set off for the mountains. It's a real pity that he couldn't be around for this, as well as being a true connoisseur of tradition.
Yeah, that's right. Matter of fact, he was the one who first invited me to perform here. To tell the truth, though, I never thought I'd really find myself rehearsing here one day.
Well, now you know. I can speak to that. Hu Tao
And jump scare.
Actually, Xinyan, I have some lyric ideas for your part.
Oh, sure thing. I'm all ears.
Oh, Traveler and Paimon, I believe Zhongli was heading to Mount Hulao, so when you see Zhongli, please pass on this message to him. You should join us too. It'll be a riot. Okay, everyone. I think that's a long enough break. Let's take it from the top, shall we? Miss Eunice, such a strict mentor. These breaks aren't even long enough to have a sip of tea. Well, you were desperate to get involved, and this is what it takes. If I gave you half the chance, you'd be sipping tea till nightfall.
Hey, how about I treat us all to some late-night snacks once we're done?
How about some stir-fried filet with a side of crab roe tofu?
Where are we gonna find crab roe tofu so late at night?
We could always just go pester Masterful Chef Zhongling. Now I'm hungry. All right, let's knock this out and then go grab some...
reindeer deer, and
A familiar face.
everything's great. But you know, if you're so curious, you can...
In fact, Mooncarver has been taking many walks on Mount Tianheng in recent times.
Zhongli, here you are.
Impeccable timing. Traditionally, bamboo shoot soup ought to be slow cooked for many hours on low heat.
Wait, that...
Indeed. Cloud Retainer kindly lent me her soup.
Can we not just call it a cooking machine? She seems to take a lot of pride in her mechanical gizmos.
I trust that you found the answers you were seeking during... Excellent. The past should be remembered, but not when the bamboo shoot soup is ready. I must insist that...
Oh, Zhongli, Hutao told... She said it's up to him whether he... When she says performance, she must be... As for the banquet...
As you can see, I have a prior engagement with 2 Adepti friends of mine tonight. As for the banquet... Since the director insists, far be it from a mere consultant like myself to refuse.
Yay! Then we'll see you there?
Absolutely.
Rex Lapis, the bamboo shoot soup is...
Thank you. I will examine it. The appearance is exquisite, and the aroma rich, and since you came all this way, you should not leave empty-handed. Please, take some soup. It tastes...
Had one known that Cloud Retainer was in possession of such eminently useful devices, one would have sought to borrow one from her long ago.
And yet, since you share my lack of enthusiasm for mechanisms and fine dining, it would have become a mere decorative ornament in your abode.
Not so. Had one had such a device to make up for one's lack of culinary prowess, Shenhe would not have had to rely on flowers and herbs alone for sustenance while under one's care.
In that case, shall we rendezvous with Cloud Retainer one day soon, and request to borrow one more Supreme Cuisine machine?
A fine idea. A fine idea indeed.
I intend to reminisce with my old friends for a while longer.
I'm honored to be here on the Iridescence Tour stage. All right, without further ado, I'm Xinyan, this is Hutao, and this is a little something called...
The Flame Lilies!
I'm up here blazing trails through the midnight sky, lighting up the world below. And when the crowds all hear my voice, they'll meet the spirit of rock and roll.
Let's go! Hey, you butterfly, you too buzzing by, guiding your way to the afterlife, opening the path without a fright. Oh, I'll light the fire, watch it blaze across the universe. I'll spit my rhymes, watch your step, or you'll get burned. Hey, woo!
Does anyone have any plans tomorrow? With another year behind us, I think we deserve a celebration of our own. My treat. Interested?
The Tianquan footing the bill? I can't miss out on that.
May the year ahead be a blessed one.
I believe it shall be.
Master, the Xiao Lanterns,
Ha! Elementary. One shall fashion for you a Xiao Lantern the likes of which the world has never seen. And you must take it to Liyue Harbor to display its magnificence for all.
Listen! That must be Manaping!
Okay, now I need to get a move on and write my next song.
Listen to you. You only just fulfilled one lifetime dream. Are you really thinking about your next goal already?
Don't try to tell me you ain't the same way. I bet you've already thought up a name for your...
You know me too well, Xinyan. The Adeptus Seeking Voyage.
Oh, man! Yeah, I can already picture it.
I've also got just the finishing line for it. I'll close with...
Magnificent! Absolutely magnificent. Yes, when I heard the music coming from up in the clouds, I was so stunned I could barely think or move. I felt like it had a special kind of hold over me. Or maybe it was the adeptal power within the music. And the ensemble at the end was truly sublime. I felt like I would have started to cry if I hadn't been one of the performers on the stage. Magnificent! Absolutely magnificent. Well, Lady Ningguang, the Tianquan of the Liyue Qixing, has invited me to visit her again at Yujing Terrace to discuss a long-term collaboration plan. I do hope everything goes well and that we have more opportunities to collaborate in the future. The next time we have another performance, you'll have to come. I will save the best seat for you. Magnificent! Absolutely magnificent. I've already given her my thanks in person. This is what she said. It is only natural to lend a hand when we see someone in distress. The wonderful music you brought to Liyue is worth far more than gratitude. Truly, I felt so honored. But I've also made a decision for myself. I will strive to create even more wonderful, original music for this era. Magnificent! Absolutely magnificent. We couldn't have accomplished all this without you. Please accept my most heartfelt thanks again. The show's about to start.
I know this story.
Oh, so you really like concerts, huh?
Oh, wow, so lively. This is how a festival should